Now 1991 in the economic reform was done in US use a economy called as capitalistic economy. After every 5 years we cannot change our business, right? Now to make profit, now again you are supposed to do what? Policy should be changed. You want anything, we are there with you, is what the government says for those sectors. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidhyashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Now we are in the fifth session where I'll be explaining more about the government policy towards the public sector since 1991. Understand, it's a continuity of the session 4. If you have not watched session 4, you are supposed to go fast and watch it, because only when you watch session 4 you will understand what exactly has happened here. Now understand 1991. What is this 1991 significance? Now 1991 in the economic reform was done in India, 1991, and all the policies got changed. 1991 we had something called the 3 level or the 3 tiers, that is, one is L, P and G. We call this as liberalization, privatization and globalization. That is what happened in the year 1991. Students, you need to remember there are 4 to 5 dates which you need to understand the concept, what was behind, why did they make these concepts. The first thing which you need to understand is the Companies Act 1956. Then you need to know that Revised Companies Act 1956 to 2013, that is the 2013 is the Revised Companies Act. Later you are supposed to know about Partnership Act of 1932, then the Cooperative Society Act, and here you need to know the 1991. So what exactly happened? See, 1991 we got liberalization. What is it? Liberalization, then privatization and globalization. So this is what happened here, and here I'll be talking more about the privatization in the public sector. That is, the public sector, whatever the things were there, they started to mobilize themselves into private sector. And what is the problem, what is the issue, that is we're gonna discuss in this session. Here, reduction in number. Reduction means what? Whatever was more, now it has been reduced. Reduction in the number of industries reserved for the public sector. There were so many industry, manufacturing industry, which were reserved as a government industries. Now slowly what happened, there was a drastic reduction of the government industries from 17 to 8. How much? From 17 to 8. That means what? Earlier we had 17 industries which were in the name of the public sector, which were 17, and they used to be what? Generate more income to the government, but because of the mismanagement and professionalism was absent in the management, it was reduced to 8. Let me be very specific. 8 was further, actually it was 3. That means again there was a downfall and we had only 3. Which are the 3 things which we had? One is what? The arms and ammunition. Whatever the public sector they go with, that is, nobody, the private person, can actually go and manufacture the arms and ammunition. That's the reason 3 of them are still kept in the government industries. I'll tell you in the next slide what exactly those 3 are. Next one is disinvestment. Slowly what happened when there was a reduction which led to disinvestment of share of select set of public sector enterprise. That means what? The enterprise also had a problem and it also had a downfall. See, when you go with the graph, what happened earlier, let's go with the 0 here, 1947, then let's go with 57, 67 and so on. If you go with these kind of a thing, earlier what happened, we had the industries which used to go, that is the number of industries were 17. Later what happened, after touching a point when upgrading was done, then what happened, slowly the market went down. That is, from 17 it came to 8, and then later it's like completely gone. Now right now they have only 3. Right now only they have 3 things. Now policies regarding sick units to the same as that of the private sector. Now what happened is, see, the policy of government companies were totally different from the policy of a private sector companies. But now what happened is, only to withstand the competition from the private, even the government companies, the government industries were able to adapt the private sector. The reason is what? To have survival. See, any company, whenever they go, the policy or whatever it is, the thing is what? Whenever the business is started, when the business is started, the business aims at 3 things. How many? 3 things. One is survival. Survival. Now if they survive, it is proper, or else gone case. After survival, they need to grow. We say that as a growth and expansion expansion. Okay. Next thing is what? They need to make profit. But here in government companies or the public sector, which we are talking about the public sector. Okay, since 1991 till 1991 it was going like a pull and push train. But later what happened, the then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao ji, right, the then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao ji, he and the Finance Minister, that is the then Finance Minister Manmohan Singh, they found out a strategy, that is, how is that we need to reform our economy in the 1991. You need to thank Manmohan Singh for his brilliant, extraordinary idea, that is LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. When they went with liberalization, privatization and globalization, they got to know that if India need to be a developed nation, we need to change our strategy. When we need to change our strategy, what is that we need to do? From public sector industries, that should be actually less, and we need to call the private people, so that the private people will come and they'll take the challenge and then they'll go for it. That is what it is. See, you compare government or the public sectors and the private sectors, you will also feel that the private sectors are really doing good than the public sector. The reason is what? They have that interest, they have that necessity, they have that standard, and they go with professionalism. Whereas in government, what happens is, the fund is there. Whose fund is it? The public fund. But what happens is, mismanagement happens because nobody is professional. If you get professionalism in the government companies, I'll tell you, India will be definitely a developed nation after like 10 or 15 years. Next we have, that is memorandum of understanding. The thing is what? Here you have disinvestment, then you have policy regarding sick units. Now you should have a policy regarding sick units, and what exactly it is? Exactly like a private sector. And the last one is memorandum of understanding. Memorandum, MOU, we call it as what? MOU, memorandum of understanding. I'll teach you what exactly memorandum of understanding is. So the first one is reduction. What happened? Reduction. So what exactly it was? It was 17, then it came to 8, and now it is 3. Only 3 of the public sector things are there, which is only in the public sector but not in private sector. That means they don't have any competition with the private entities. The first one, in 2001, only 3 industries were reserved exclusively. When I say exclusively, that means they don't have any competition at all within the public sector or the private sector. That is what? These are atomic energy. Now atomic energy, a private person cannot do it, but if you compare India with US, I'll tell you, all these 3 companies, whatever is here, even in US, all these 3 companies are given to the private people, because US use a economy called as capitalistic economy. Next is arms and rail transport. So these are the three, only three. Which are they? The first one is atomic energy, atomic energy. The second one is arms and ammunitions, and the third one is railway. I'll tell you, Indian Railway is the longest railway thing which is in the entire world. That means the chain is so much that it is gigantic. And when it comes to the Indian Railway, I'll tell you, the employment is also huge. If you compare with any other nation or the country, Indian Railways, they have more job employment opportunity than any other sector in any other country. Next is these things. No, what exactly they do? They meant that the private sector could enter all areas, but exclusively of atomic energy, arms and railway, that is railway transportation. Apart from that, they can go and they can venture in any of the business. Now that is a huge benefit for whom? For the public as well as the private sector. Now understand here, what happened was, the private entities who are there, they have a fear with the government. Okay, they have a fear with the government. Thing is, government can raise funds very easily, but to raise fund with a private, okay, he cannot raise the fund the way the government does. So what happens is, whatever the resource the private entity or the private person have, he need to optimally utilize the resource. What is it? Optimally. He need to utilize the resources. Then what will happen is, he'll utilize the resources optimally, which leads to professionalism. When there is a professionalism, what happens is, the productivity in the industry, productivity in the company will be more, because he is thinking about what? If I make losses, what will happen to my industry? I need to shut. So he'll only aim at what? Profitability. That's why what happens, if profitability is there, who will actually get benefited? Again, the government is getting benefited. So what the government did, we cannot handle these sectors. So what is that we should do? We give it to the private people. Let the private people deal it. We'll collect according to the tax. What we will go with the tariff. So again, it is a benefit of whom? Benefit of the government only. The next thing here, you need to understand, from 17 public sector places which they used to play, it came to 8. That means what? There was a mismanagement in the industry. From 8 to 3 means what happens? Now there is incapability. The competency is not there. Now understand, who knows, in 2001 we have only 3. In 2030 what will happen? The entire thing will be given to private. Now what will happen? That is a problem which you need to understand. That is the reason we need to have a democratic government, where the government should be very, very strong. Next is disinvestment. The minute what happened, here understand, disinvestment. From 17 to 3 it happened. That means everybody lost the faith in the government. When they lost the faith in the government, then what will happen? Automatically there is a disinvestment of share of a select set of public enterprise. That means there is a particular set where disinvestment is more. If you understand the commerce very beautifully, then you will understand, wherever the profit is there, private people are more into the competition. Where profit is less, what happens is, the private entity are not there at all. Now you need to understand, why is that? There is a insecurity in few of the fields and security in few of the fields. It's only because only when the market moves, you will get profitability or loss. If market doesn't, that means what? You will not get neither profit nor loss. We call that as a break-even point. What we call that as? We call that as a break-even point. So understand here, the objective was to raise a resource and encourage wider participation. When will you get a wider participation? Only when the public is accepting those things. If public will not accept at all, now even after not getting accepted, if you are doing those companies or industries, what is the benefit out of it? That is the reason there was disinvestment, and that too what? For a selected public enterprises. Now understand, participation of the general public and workers in the ownership of these enterprises. There were people who used to get scared that can I go with these kind of business with the government? That was the question mark, because we don't know what will happen after every 5 years. The government will change. After every 5 years we cannot change our business, right? So what happened? There was a disinvestment of shares of selected, see please, I'm telling you here why there is a selected set of public sector, because of the demand and supply. Next one is policy regarding sick units to be in the same as that for the private sector. That means now the policies started changing. See, understand, whenever we start any business, we should make sure that the policy shouldn't change. Once the policy is done, we need to maintain it, but only when there is a problem. Okay, what happens is we intend to change the policy. Now the problem here is what? Very simple. The public sector aren't making money the way the private sectors are doing it. Now what is that you should do? You need to improve. How will you improve? You need to have people who are professional. Now how is that those professional people will come? When they come, they'll get to know what exactly the policy is, the structure of the company is. When they know the structure of the company, they'll tell that these are the outdated policy. What are they? Outdated policy. So we need to restructure it. How will you restructure it? You will restructure it according to what? There should be a standard, right? The standard is what? Private sector. How a private sector operates? We are supposed to operate. Only then we will go with the profitability. How is the private sector operates? They only operates with what? They think about profit. What is that they do? They think about profit. Now to make profit, now again you are supposed to do what? Policy should be changed. All public sector units were referred to the Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction. See, the word is what? Reconstruction. Whatever they had already constructed, now they need to reconstruct. That's why I'll tell you what exactly it is. You need to know the history. The history was what? We were in a social economy. Now we are in a mixed economy. We are in what? Mixed economy. Why? Because there was a reconstruction to decide whether a sick unit was to be restructured or closed down. See what happens, there are many government companies which are closed and people became unemployed. The reason is what? Mismanagement. The reason is they couldn't get the qualitative goods as well as the quantitative. The thing is, they were never in the competition. Their policies were what? Outdated. Their trend was what? Outdated. The way the performance was outdated. That is what the people need to look at. So when they started to look at what is the real issue, they got to know that their policy regarding the sick units were totally against the profitability. Now the judgment will come, that is, you need to decide. You need to decide whether you need to have that or you need to dismantle. That is, whether you need to restructure or you need to close. You will only restructure when you feel that if I restructure, there can be profitability. But if you figure out all possible way and you get to know that no, closing down is only good, so what happens? You will close down. Once you close down, now there is a problem. What is a problem? The problem is when you close public sector enterprises, now private sectors will have their own demand. When they'll have their own demand, they'll have their own pricing. That is a problem. That's why we want the government to bring too many industries in the public sector than giving the private sector. There was a rumor as well as there was a fact saying that even railways will be privatized. What is it? Railways will also be privatized. I was telling you about the 3 industries are there which is exclusively only for public. In that, arms and ammunition is there, atomic energy is there, and railway transportation. Now see, railway transportation, if it goes privatized, what will happen? We are left with only 2. My question is, what is that government people will do now? What is that government will do now? What is that ministry will do now? Now when you are giving everything to the private sector, why is that you are not giving your seat even to the private people? If you go directly or indirectly, it is the same thing, right? Now, the next one is memorandum of understanding. What is this memorandum of understanding? You will come to a situation where both the parties will understand what is that they should do and what is that they are not supposed to do it. So this is what the memorandum of understanding is. Memorandum means it is again given by the Companies Act 1956 and the revised 2013, that you need to have a memorandum. So under this system, public sector units were given clear targets and operations, that is operational autonomy for achieving those targets. Now understand what it is. If you go with a target, you are staying in the business. If you cannot, you are out of the business. That is what the memorandum of understanding is. You want to perform, yes, we are there to give you funds. Now funds were given. Okay, funds were given. By whom? By the government. But who should get profitability? These enterprises. Now if these enterprises make profit, then they will stay. If they cannot, now they need to exit. That is what the policy was. That is their memorandum of understanding. You want anything, we are there with you, is what the government says for those sectors. But you are supposed to achieve targets. See, understand the public sector mentality. Earlier they started this public sector for the welfare of the public. But slowly what happened, even the public did not understand the benefit out of it, and they started to invest more on private sectors. Now the private sectors have the competition, plus they have the demand, plus they have the supply. But whereas here in public sector, you don't have demand, but you have supply. You don't have people to purchase it. Example, I'll tell you, pharmaceutical industry itself, right? There are umpteen number of private companies which make mint money. They just make money like anything. The same product, the same tablet combination, it is available in generic medicine, that is the government enterprises. But many of us, we don't even go and don't even take that generic medicine. I'll tell you a beautiful example which happened. My brother who had a headache. Now he had a headache, and he usually used more of laptop thing because he is into management and all. So he told me that he has an headache, and when I said, okay, this is the tablet which you are supposed to eat, and he just asked me what is the tablet, what is the combination and all. I told him everything. He just asked me how much is the price. I said it is, one tablet is like 10 rupees, and he had that tablet. Within no time he said my headache is gone. Now next day I wasn't there in the house. My mom was there. My brother again, he asked, I have an headache now, I just need the tablet. Now Abhilash isn't there. My mom went and she gave a headache tablet. He had that, and he asked my mom, which is the tablet? My mom said it is a generic medicine. That is the government who is manufacturing. And what is the cost? Cost is 50 paisa. Now understand this. He said the headache isn't going, right? The headache is still there. Then after my college and all, then I went and my brother was there. He said headache is still there, I need the same tablet. I gave him the same tablet what my mom had given that day also, but I told it is 10 rupees, right? Now understand, this is the mindset. What is the mindset of public? You take any medicines of the private people, you will be cured. If you take any medicine which is the government people are giving now, that will not cure. That is what the mindset is. That is what the demand of the government and the private sector is. See, understand. So these are the things which you are supposed to know. Any doubt with the government policies and all, you can call us, you can message us. We'll be there only for you. Thank you so much. Till then, see you. I'll see you when I see you.